What's going on, everybody? Almost Counts Collectibles here, and in this video we're going to check out some items that we recently picked up from a half-price books and a small video game store that was right next door. So let's go ahead and get a little bit closer and check out all the stuff we got. Alright, so let's start right here on top. Now, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but they had a little clearance section at half-price books, and this was in there and it was $2. And it's the, the Kenner little carded figures, the retro collection of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I had to snag that. We've been watching Star Wars a lot recently. My kids are kind of getting into it. So we picked up Obi-Wan Kenobi for $2. Next, they had a really clean copy of Dragon Ball Z Budokai. It was $7.99. If this had been kind of in rough shape or incomplete, I definitely would have passed on it. I have the HD collection on Xbox 360, but this was in such good shape. The disc is great, the booklet is great. It's just a super clean copy of Dragon Ball Z, so I had to go ahead and pick that up for the PlayStation 2 collection. I don't have this on PS2, so went ahead and grabbed that. Alright, got a copy of Digimon, a new Digitude on VHS. Don't have this particular VHS. We do have Digimon the movie, actually 2 copies now I think. But it's cool to find Digimon and Pokemon VHSs. We just like collecting VHSs, especially of the things that we really like. So they had this in there, snagged this. The case is in pretty good shape. The cassette is in really good shape, so picked up another VHS for the collection. All right, this right here, now this actually came from the video game store that was next door. Got this for $12.99. It's a brand new copy of the Prima Strategy Guide for Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Now, I was a big Mortal Kombat fan, I mean I still am, but when Shaolin Monks came out, I just thought it was really cool. That it was kind of the side of Mortal Kombat that I always kind of wanted to play, opposed to just the 2D or 3D, fighting. It was more like an adventure fighting game, and I thought it was really cool. So picked this up. I like picking up the strategy guides for old games that I actually like. So got a copy of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. All right, they had the 2-disc special edition of the original Space Jam, $6.99. I did check, I opened it up, it was in here. I just thought this was a really cool little packaging. I'd never seen this before for Space Jam. I have Space Jam, the original movie, on VHS. I don't think I have it on DVD at all, but both discs were in there. They're in really good shape, and just thought that was a really cool little set. So we picked up Space Jam. Got a couple more media items here. So we got Volume 1, Season 1 and 2 of Family Guy. This was on sale for $5. I checked, all the discs were in there in good shape, so picked up Season 1 and 2 of Family Guy. Didn't have that yet. All right, we got Tailspin Fearless Flyers on VHS, and this is actually in really, really good condition. There's a tiny tear right here, but got that for $3.99. Loved Tailspin, loved it back in the day. Got another VHS here. We got Street Fighter, $5.49. This sells for a little bit more than that on eBay. I thought that was a little high, but I checked and it was actually a pretty reasonable price. And this box and the VHS are in pretty good shape. There's a little tear right here at the top, but just wanted to get a copy of it for the collection. So we got Street Fighter. All right, we had to snag this. So we got Millennium, the Backstreet Boy album, $6.99. This actually sells for a little bit more than that. I didn't really see that coming, but yeah, so this actually has a tiny bit of value for being an older CD, but we had to get this to add to the collection. So picked up Millennium. Right here we got Night of the Twisters. Now this actually came from that local video game store that was beside Half Price Books. I always I saw this as a kid, and for some reason, I always remembered it. It's just, I thought it was kind of actually scary back in the day. I'm sure all of you will know the more popular tornado movie, Twister, that came out. This was definitely not as popular as that one, but in all honesty, I thought this one was a little scarier than the other one. So really, really cool movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Night of the Twisters, one of those classic, you know, it's kind of cheesy. I'll be honest. It's a little bit cheesy, the acting and stuff like that. It's a 90s movie, but I don't know, really liked it. All right, we got a couple soundtracks. So we got Lost in Space, and we got The Last Action Hero. I actually picked these up from that video game store to add to the soundtrack collection. Anytime I can find these cheap, I think it's really cool to pick these up. So we got a couple more soundtracks. All right, we actually have a little baggie of Tailspin figures. It's got some of the little metal like planes with the different figures, and it's got the two that I actually needed for the collection. It had Blue in here, and it had the little girl. Her name slipping my mind for some reason. And then it had some other figures in here, DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, I think. Actually, let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so his head actually turns. What else we got in here? We got Baloo, the little plane that I needed. We got another Wildcat. We actually already have Wildcat, but we got some more. We got some Chip and Dale figures. I'm not sure who that is exactly. Might have been from one of those shows. A lot of really cool little figures in here. Like I said, DuckTales and other cartoon figures and another Wildcat. Actually picked that up. I think it was like $6 from that video game store. And then we got a shirt. This shirt actually came from a store called Five Below that we hit up as we were leaving those stores a little later in the day. I just threw it in this bag later on. But I got an Adventure Time shirt. It's got Finn and Jake on it. You're getting all hung up on imaginary problems. You got to focus on what's real, man. I love Adventure Time. I don't know why. It's just got a level of comedy and humor that just really resonates with me. And then I finally picked up a copy of Dark Cloud 2. I've been eyeballing this game for years. And it seems like every time I see it or try to get it, it's a tiny bit more expensive than it was the last time I saw it. So I figured I would just go ahead and grab it before it's eventually a $50 plus game. This was a pretty clean copy of it, which was what, you know, kind of spurred me to go ahead and just grab it. The disc is in really good shape. The instruction manual and everything is there in really good shape. So finally added a copy of Dark Cloud 2 to the PS2 collection. I've actually never got to play this game. I absolutely loved Dark Cloud 1. If this is anywhere near as good as the first one, I'm sure it's going to be an awesome play, but can't wait to finally play through this and stick it on the shelf and add it to the collection. So we picked up Dark Cloud 2 here, so let's go ahead and get everything back in the shot, and we'll take one last little look at all the little pickups we got. All right, so we got everything back in the shot here real quick. So we got some media items. We got Family Guy Season 1 and 2. On DVD, that pretty cool 2-disc special edition of Space Jam. We got the Digimon VHS, a couple more VHSs, Tailspin, and Street Fighter, also to include Night of the Twisters over there. Really cool movie, check it out if you haven't. Couple games, finally picked up Dark Cloud 2, and we picked up a really clean copy of Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 on the PS2. Got some soundtracks, The Last Action Hero and Lost in Space the movie. Got Backstreet Boys, the Millennium album. Got some really cool Tailspin figures, DuckTales and Rescue Rangers and stuff in there as well. We grabbed the Obi-Wan on clearance for $2. The Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monk strategy guide, I don't know if I mentioned that or not already. And then we got the really cool Finn and Jake shirt from Five Below from the show Adventure Time. Love that show. So hope you guys enjoyed checking this stuff out. It's always cool to share with you guys the little pickups we get for the collection. Let me know if you guys enjoyed anything here. And until next time, everybody, I will see you next video.